So the next story, though, I want to go into is, do mental health podcasts help? You know, podcasting has become a multi-billion-dollar industry, over 400 million monthly listeners worldwide. I mean, this is crazy because I remember years ago, I used to scrounge for radio to listen to and for random podcasts to listen to. And now it's like everyone, including us, has a podcast. And so this Irish university decided to do a study. In Ireland, 46% of the public, they realized, listen to podcasts. So that's kind of exciting. And it has been a concern in health-oriented podcasts, and we've talked about this previously, that health-oriented podcasts may present erroneous or misleading advice. So this University College Cork in Ireland, which is actually an extremely good university that I had not heard of, but decided to do a study and publish the results in rural and remote health. This study, the aim of the study was to understand what listeners of mental health podcasts learn or obtain from the medium. Is it good, bad, indifferent? Does it harm them? Do they get bad ideas? Are they more reluctant to go seek out mental health? Are they using it as some kind of replacement for mental health treatment? What is going on here? And the participants were asked questions relating to mental health literacy, stigma, and help-seeking behaviors. They took 722 people. This was an online survey. They asked open-ended questions. And so when we don't really know like a place to begin, we often start with these studies called qualitative studies. So we're trying to understand a phenomenon. So you start with a qualitative study, and this is not, when I was trained and I went through, we really focused on what's called quantitative studies, or you're looking for statistical significance in different things. Qualitative, they really are trying to get from the ground up. It's sort of the anthropologists, you know, they're the ones who are going in and talking to the people and developing these themes. So they ask questions like, what do you take away from listening to mental health related podcasts? What do you learn about yourself? What do you learn about a loved one? What do you find most useful about listening to mental health related podcasts? So they did this study. They used this thematic analysis that we just talked about, but the population, the demographics, that's what we call demographics, like how they all broke down, were really fascinating to me. So before I give you results, check out this. The people that were attracted to this study, mental health podcast listeners, were really an interesting group, at least in Ireland. 70% female, the majority, over 80%, closer to 90%, were over 25, but about evenly split between 25 and 39 and 40 and 64. Only about 14% of the group was 18 to 24. Most lived in Ireland. That's not to be expected. But 3/4 of them had a bachelor's degree or higher. So this was a highly educated population. 85% earned at least a middle income, and about 44% were high income earners. 75% were employed, and 75% accessed mental health services already, and 82% struggled with mental health in some ways. So what we have here is a highly professional, highly productive, very educated, smart, directed population who is, you know, they're learning. They're out there learning. So the people that listen to mental health podcasts, and I can only hope this one is one of them, are really kind of an interesting group. I mean, I if I were an advertiser, I would think this is pretty good. But they're a group that really is tuned into the world and really wants to learn. And that may have had a lot to do with the analysis. So this thematic analysis, they did a bottom-up approach. They identified, analyzed, reported patterns and themes. They're trying to figure out what's going on. And the goal is to capture something important about the data in relation to the research question. What do you think?
About what?
Well, they did look at 5 core themes. They did decide on 5 core themes through like all the answers. Accessibility, like how accessible, mental health literacy, potential pitfalls, the problems that could come out of this, reassurance, like do they feel reassurance for their own issues, and lived experiences. Results indicate that podcasts overall have an extremely positive impact. They influence the development of mental health literacy, they reduce mental health stigma, and they increase health seeking.
I think as a podcast producer and being in it, I think mental health podcasts have given people an outlet to be open about it, where 20, 30 years ago, going to a therapist, people thought you're just crazy. That was just kind of a stigma. So now people are more open to talk about their mental health needs. And, I've just seen it on other shows that we've had that, people now they love to talk about it and trying to find outlets of trying to, break cycles and, improving their health, mental health. So, yeah, I think it's a good positive.
Oh, for sure. And people are relating to, when people are opening up and being vulnerable about their mental health needs, it gives people that are tuning in that opportunity to also reach out in case they need that help too, or they're struggling with the same situation.
It's almost like group therapy.
Yeah, in a way.
It is. And I think what was exciting to me too is that people are using mental health podcasts for information, for connection, to feel not so alone. Mm-hmm. And it might even act as a bridge to help them get the help they need, get them involved in the right groups or the right, resources. There are always good things. So there's a potential role for the use of podcasts everywhere, but especially even in rural regions where perhaps we don't have as many services. So I thought that I was kind of exciting. Mental health podcasters help listeners learn coping strategies, deepen their sense of self-compassion, and effectively direct them to services. And they found that they're a driving force to shifting perspectives from stigma to shared experiences. Tony, this is exactly what you just said.
See, I'm way beyond my years.
You are like one of the study authors there. That was pretty good.